Hello, I want to show you how to use Obsidian for Mac and Windows. I'm on a Mac now, but the process should be the same for Windows. I'm going to go to Obsidian download, Googling it, and click on the download link for the Obsidian.md site. I'm going to scroll down to the download section and it notices I'm on a Mac, so it should say Mac here. I'm going to click download for Mac OS. I'm going to put it into my downloads folder, the DMG. That should load into the folder. If I open up that folder and double click the DMG, then click and drag the application over to the application folder, it should install the application. If I now go to my application and go to Obsidian, or the alternative would be to open up your Spotlight and type in Obsidian. It should load up the program for the first time, say open, and then go ahead and create a new vault. You can call it My Vault or something like that. And you can put it somewhere that makes sense to you, maybe documents. And that's it. Now you have it installed. Next thing you would want to do is go to the settings. Go to the community plugins and click on turn on community plugins. Then you can browse for Excalidraw, and it's this one by Zsolt 5 million downloads almost. And click install, and then click enable. It'll give you this little welcome message. There's a video here you can click to watch if you want to know more. Once you've done that, you can make a folder, something like My First Excalidraw, and then right click on the folder and say New Drawing. I would rename this file to something like My First Slideshow, and then you can click on the slide, double click to get rid of that graphic. I'm going to close this window here. And you'll notice now that you have Excalidraw, there's this gear icon where it says install scripts. If you click on that, you can type slideshow, and it'll just scroll down here to this slideshow. These are other plugins you could install, but this is the one we want, slideshow. You say install script, just click that button even though it doesn't highlight. This should say that it installed it. Script is up to date. At that point, you can click off of that screen, and essentially the way it works is, let's say you were doing some kind of presentation. Let's say it was about trees, for example. You might look up some images of trees, and on Mac I would use my commands to do a screenshot, and I would just take that picture that I want to use and I would paste it, and now it's on the document here. And so now I might say something like about trees, and now the beauty of the slideshow program is if I click this frame tool button, it should give you a cursor that you can wrap around here, and then if you say frame 1 and then do the frame again and wrap that one and say frame 2, now if you click this Obsidian Tools panel button, you'll see a drop down that you can open or close, and at the bottom of it says downloaded. You should be able to see this slideshow button. If you click that, it'll go into slideshow mode, and then it'll show you your frames in order. Okay, now if you notice, the slideshow goes pretty linearly, meaning it kind of goes from one to the other without any starting or stopping. It's just like all the same amount of step increments. So if you'd like to smooth that out a little bit, I have a script that you can actually use, and I'll show you how to update it. So in the notes of this video, I'll put the link to my GitHub, and if you go to that account and go to the gists, you'll see a button for raw. You can click that button and just select all of that content, and essentially we're going to replace this content with the one that's in the program currently. And what I've done is change the number of steps, and I've also put in a function down here in the code that's going to smooth out the frames of the animation. So if you go to your documents where you put your vault and you go to Excalidraw, scripts, downloaded, then you'll see Slideshow.md. If you open that file with whatever note editor you like to use, I'll just use TextEdit for example, and then you just highlight everything and replace it with the one from the gist. That should be updated there. Then just make sure to save it with Command S or Control S on Windows. Then you can close that, and I would recommend closing and restarting your Obsidian just to make sure everything goes into effect. And now when you run your slideshow again, you should see it's a little bit smoother. It sort of slows down as it enters into the next frame, which I found helps a little bit with motion sickness during presentations. And that's the basics of it. There's more to find if you Google about the Slideshow app on YouTube. You'll see other videos with more information about it and other ways to use it. Like you can actually draw arrows between frames, and that will actually work to go from frame to frame as well. I just find that using the frames is the best sort of option to keep everything categorized. I do want to actually quickly mention that if you go up through like frame 10, so if you have frame 1 through 9 and then you get to frame 10, it will actually interpret this as a 1 and a 0, so it will actually think this is like frame 1. So in that case, I recommend labeling your frames like maybe something like A1, and then you can go up through A9, and then when you get to your next set of frames, you can do B1 and kind of do it alphabetically that way, and that will keep you from running into that 10 problem. It's kind of a computer science-y issue that they haven't worked out the way that that's filtered. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.